Alright, so it's a well-known fact by now that many players of Apocalypse Rising 2 have gotten boring by the game's gameplay loop after the new beta map update. Now, the beta map was supposed to make the game more interesting with all the new locations and everything, and well, it did for probably like a couple months or so, but now people are just really bored with all the lack of new content, the lack of a refresh to the gameplay loop. But we just got a message in the Apocalypse Rising 2 Discord server that probably changes everything about the game, and we now have confirmation that base building is going to be part of the game, as well as many other things like a map overhaul and a drying release date and more. So stick around to the end to learn all about the future of Apocalypse Rising 2. So as many of y'all know, the drying is an event that happens every summer in Apocalypse Rising 2, but this year we haven't gotten a release date yet until now, where we know that it's going to be dropping June 18th this year, and they're changing some stuff from the last 2025 drawings. So first up, they're going to be rebalancing the drawings loot from last year's to make it more higher tier in a variety of areas. It's supposed to reward people who explore, which is also the main goal of the map overhaul that's going to be happening soon, but we'll get into that later. Now, as we can see, they are not focusing as much as the drawing event as the other updates they're working on, so there's not going to be as many new cosmetics, but there's going to be reduced lag and all these new updates that are coming out that are going to make the drawing event more special and feel different. Now, one thing that people have especially been disappointed in is the direction of loot in the beta map. People really liked in the alpha map how loot was just spread across the map in special areas, so that it wasn't all just in one area. You had to explore the whole map for the best loot. Well, in the beta map, they changed that so that most of the best loot would be on Ferris, so everyone would be on one island and all the noobs would be on the other, but people were really disappointed in this. So no, they aren't going back to the alpha map, but they are taking the alpha map's spread of loot, their layout, and implementing it into the beta map so that more locations will have more high tier loot, and it's not all just going to be on Ferris. So Ferris might have quite a downgrade in loot, but the other islands will have probably an upgrade in loot, which would make the game more fun and probably bring back a bunch of its OG players that missed the alpha map. Now, the most exciting part that you guys have probably all been waiting for, base building has been confirmed for Apocalypse Rising 2. Now, if you don't know, Apocalypse Rising 1 had base building and people would raid bases all the time, and it was super cool, but Apocalypse Rising 2 didn't have that, so some people were kind of upset, but now they're finally working on base building after announcing it 4 years before, and it's just insane. I can't believe this is actually happening. Me personally, I love the base building feature in survival games. I just don't know if this would work in Apocalypse Rising 2 due to how clustered the new map is, but I'm going to let them do their thing because I really want to make some bases and raid bases. I think that would be a great video opportunity, but anyways, let's see what is in store for us. So basically, it will consist of players going around the map to find resources so they construct a variety of prefabricated building assets, or what they're calling it, prefabs. And in order to unlock more advanced prefabs, players need to find blueprints around the map. So we're going to have a ton of new items coming in Apocalypse Rising 2 for us to find, and a bunch of new gameplay features already, but it gets crazier. Now, there will be three main categories of base building assets, the first one being structural prefabs like walls, floors, doors, and platforms, and these can be used just to create a normal base, or they can be used to fortify an existing structure, meaning there won't be any boundaries probably to base building, meaning you can build inside locations. Many survival games don't let you do that, but Apocalypse Rising 2 is letting you do that, which I think is really awesome. The second type of prefabs are functional prefabs, such as campfires, storage crates, and advanced stations, whatever that means. And these will probably make AR2's gameplay loop super fun. Campfires might be used to cook food if that's going to be a new feature, or just as a pretty good light source, or it could do damage to enemies. A storage crate would obviously be used to store items and stuff. This would be so cool because if you try storing items in anything other than a car, it will despawn. And then advanced stations, I don't really know what that means. That might be crafting stations, but I doubt it because that would be super advanced. Now, the last prefab, which is the deployables, and I'm so excited for these. This is probably going to be my favorite. So it's going to be things like the bear trap, the tripwire bomb, and the portable generator. And apparently some of these can be found by looting, so there's going to be even more items, and some of them can just be found by producing them through the blueprints. But I'm so excited for the stuff that you can do with this. Landmines would be crazy, as in Apocalypse Rising 1, they had grenades and stuff. So finally some explosives and bear traps to trap players. Imagine trapping a player with a landmine under there. That would be absolutely awesome. But yeah, I'm so excited. I don't really know what the portable generator would do, but maybe it works as a light source or something, so that if someone turned the power power off at the power station, you would still have a light source. That's probably what it will be, and I think that's a pretty good idea. And we even got some images of the materials that you will be using for base building. So first up, at the top left, we can see some wood, and at the top right, we can see some concrete packets. At the bottom left, we can see some metal, and at the bottom right, I don't really know what that is, but I'm assuming that it's stuff to like reinforce it, like nuts and bolts and stuff like that. And at the very right, we can see the blueprint paper. Now, as we can see here, we have tons of structural prefabs here. We have walls, like windowed walls, boarded up window walls, like with all of these different materials, concrete, metal, wood, you name it. There's shelves and some like barbed wire there. That was really cool. And maybe those might be some coolers. I don't really know what those are, but it looks really, really awesome. Now, as we can see here, we have all the functional prefabs and some deployables. This is probably the most interesting part. So at the top left, we have some like tree thing next to water and stuff. So maybe that's going to be a way to get hydration. I don't really know. Or probably wood. Yeah, it's probably like an instant like wood generator. And then we can also see this workbench here. It's probably for like repairing vehicles. Then there's also like a mini radio here. I have no idea what that can be. Maybe it can like alert for players or something. And then there's like the storage crate and then the portable generator. Then we can see the workbenches. And then at the bottom, we can see some like deployables like as the bear trap and stuff like that. And this honestly looks awesome. So that's all that's new. I cannot wait for the base building being implemented into Apocalypse Rising 2. We're going to make some crazy videos of that one. And I'm so hyped for the drawing event. Now that we know it's coming out in June, which is not even that far away, June 18th. That is super close, like right around the corner, so I'm super hyped for that, and I hope you guys are too, because the future of APOC is looking really good, and I'm thinking that maybe it could just revive the game, and I hope that it really does, because I want Prime APOC back. But anyways, see you guys in the next video.